And we're back with more Reign of the Star Kings. I, after all this time, remain Grimith. Heads up, I have done some adjustments with my transitional microphone. It's been a lengthy transition. As a result, I've turned off my digital compressor. I believe everything will sound smooth with minimal clipping, even though it is off. If it is not smooth, I will listen back to this audio, and I will know the tragedies and crimes I've committed against you all. Before we get moving on with Cleo, I want to say that I have enjoyed you folks who've come along for the ride and made contributions in the comments, either in unofficial histories or just reflections on things which have occurred, or just, give it in feedback. This kind of solo storytelling is something I have been doing since I was a kid. With action figures, with stuffed animals, with video games, with more stuffed animals, with more video games, with more stuffed animals, and so on and so forth. It's a little draining on the creativity and on my time to just have a seat at the computer and craft some story instead of while I'm in the shower or while I'm on a walk, but what the hell? Felt like going on an adventure and inviting viewers to come along with me. I have been enriched for that. Let us take a look at feedback for this last episode. As an advisory, if comments are edited, any heart I may give them is automatically removed by the YouTube system so that you cannot bamboozle the creator. And of course, if any comments are deleted for whatever reason, the chains are removed. And any, digital love I may have given them is also correspondingly removed. Such are the ethers of participating in YouTube comments. We have poor Kent. Man just wanted a good night's sleep. Guess Cleo gave that to her dear father in the end. Arconians offer new hyperdrive. Emperor jumps on the opportunity. Large object industry unveils next big thing. We have this popular theory I particularly enjoyed, that Kent is clearly the child of lesbian lovers Starlin and Perry, that Will and Starlin were each other's beards. Both Will and Starlin knew that many major houses were discontent in the Empire, especially at the prospect of the great House of Caladan being subsumed into the Imperial House of Ravenor. The scheme all three cooked up was to allow for the eventual joining of Caladan into Ravenor a number of generations hence. Continued independence of House Caladan, with seemingly an extremely legitimate grievance, would allow them to build an alliance of discontent houses to oppose the Imperial House. Once the true lineage of Emperor Kent and Cleo, did not expect that to be a tongue twister. Kent and Cleo, Kent and Cleo, Kent and Cleo, Kent and Cleo. Very good, Grimith. Was revealed, and House Caladan finally absorbed. The treachery of the other houses could be revealed and destroyed. Cleo was forced to kill her father as a mercy. Like that for much of this reign, even though we've been in Rise, it kind of feels like fall. It might just be due to the brokenness of Kent. I will say the Imperial government is making enemies left, right, and center. The religious authorities of the ancients or whatever, the Navigator caste in Via Humanitas, and the people of Kalandor, whose culture and traditions are being trod upon by extended martial law, can see these enemies, not powerful in their own right, maybe forming an ad hoc alliance of sorts in the decades to come. And a lengthy contribution here from an esteemed unofficial historian indeed, with quality records to the Imperial Historical Society for review. An example in point where an edit removes my digital contributions. That's good stuff. I'm definitely enjoying the story time that has come along for the ride. We'll see if we can tell any more stories in this episode, but before I do that, I want to cover that I did finally write an ending for Bran, who died in a fire. Beloved Emperor Bran Ravenor, the twice-crowned, died tragically when an electrical fire spiraled out of control and engulfed his personal gazebo upon the homeworld. The now Dowager Empress escaped with only minor injuries and testified before her peers that her survival only came through his decision to block a pillar from falling upon her with his own body. An Imperial Commission has swiftly identified lax business regulation as the cause of the fire, and those culpable have already been imprisoned, in part for their own safety, from infuriated citizens. Yeah, they're kind of short. What do you mean, lax business regulation is the cause of it? What? How are there no other, like, fail-safes in mind? It's the Emperor's personal gazebo. What the fuck? I don't know. A whomst amongst us can say, right? And reflecting upon the life and legacy of Kent Ravenor, he tried. He was the mouthpiece for his two moms, and chucking out leaders of the most prominent religion of Cybrixia, combined with like military veterans and leadership, capturing and crushing the souls and spirit of Kalimdor. He became consumed by nightmares, and he eagerly jumped upon the offer of the Arconians. You know, the Arconians could have come and offered anything that could have also potentially destabilized the Empire. What if we offer like some sort of hypergate technology, or what if we offer some sort of convenient device that you can build in your star systems that like accelerate the jump drive process and create like some sort of hyperlane to allow even quicker transit between systems, particularly with, you know, how far away the core sector is from the Persephone star cluster. You know, it could allow you also to get reinforcements more quickly to your front line of sorts in three-dimensional space, between Cybrixia and the Orion Collective. You know, instead, though, the Arconians offer to correct the unreliable navigation computers, which have plagued Cybrixia since shortly after Clovis Ravenor took power. Now, you have to suspect that other empires around them, around us, have had ways of properly navigating through the stars that have not needed navigators. So, has this just been like a people issue? Has this been like a star vessel issue, like if Cybrixians are flying Orion Collective vessels? Is that cool? Is it a skill issue? Is it like foundational in how the technology has worked? What's been up with that? Has this been an issue which has plagued the core sector more than it has the spokes of the wheel? Or is this something that has radiated throughout the Empire? One thing's for certain is that the war has put a great strain on transit, since navigators have become increasingly necessary for navigating any star vessel. The losses of so many over this extended war has really put a strain on all like stellar transportation in this empire, and put trade and economic infrastructure at real risk of collapsing. As such, I mean, this is great. Like, whew, we can ease the burden of all this. And that's probably the real argument that wins. Because if the Via Humanitas were at full force right now, and if navigators were flush and in control and there wasn't a war, I suspect they would be able to override this. And probably also if the Emperor weren't just eagerly like, sold! Maybe they could do something about that. But, you know, we need a contingency plan. We have to use our best navigators in the most qualified positions. We just don't have enough navigators to go around. We can't just bring everything to a standstill, right? And you cut to like the people at the fringes of the Empire nodding emphatically. They haven't removed their automated systems from like their planet-based vehicles. That law was stupid. It's really been the core sector that's cared so deeply for that, and even then, it's kind of dependent on the Emperor. Yeah. And so Via Humanitas looks at this and they see it as a grave threat. Like, I mean, if we trusted each other, you wouldn't need a contingency plan, right? As an aside, have you ever been in a relationship before where you've wanted or pursued a contingency plan just in case, and that relationship, and I'm not just talking like intimate, like attempted to manipulate you into like, why would you want that contingency plan? I thought we trusted each other. I thought we were cool. Why would you see a need for that? Why would that be a necessity? Why would you want to like accept these navigation computers from some previously unknown alien intelligence? Haven't we been great together? Haven't we been successful together? What's wrong with you? I trusted you. I thought you trusted me. I suppose after everything we've been through, I expected more, but we could still have a profitable, like, mutual relationship together. Just oh, just going through that makes my skin crawl. Ugh. It will probably happen to me again. And then incredible new technology. First prototype cloaking field generator. Has it been successful? It appears to be a success. I can tell because we can see the vessels we put the prototypes on. Fantastic. And then Emperor Kent died at the hands of his successor. You know, was I think how I want to tell the story, and I'm not writing it down yet, but I think how this would go is that Kent asked his daughter for absolution. For salvation. And she gave it to him. And the specifics of how aren't material, only that he has met the final death. And the Imperial government apparatus knows full well the mental state and capacity of Kent Ravenor before this thing, and the Imperial government doesn't have another heir they can bounce this shit to. Like, who we got here, right? The throne's got to go to the next generation, and are we looking at Perry's other grandkids? But Cleo's the only one with direct lineage to Will, right? Yeah, so, and we're still in a war. Long live Emperor Cleo. Maybe I'll massage those thoughts over the course of story crafting, but for now, that'll be what it is. I do believe. Let's get moving. Let's start writing some new story instead of reinterpreting and puzzling out what happened in the past. Let's get some new stuff down in the books. Mercy killed her father? Would she be known as Kinslayer, you think? That'd be another one for maybe not so much. Is that like an epithet? Is it a sobriquet that's actually in the rules? I'm actually going to read through now. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Because if it was, then I wouldn't want to, like, title her as Kinslayer. Kinslaying the merciful as opposed to the merciless over there. We'll give that some thought. Yeah. Anyway, let's determine spouses, shall we? Also, hi. Greetings and salutations. Beautiful day. Rains of the past. Blowing in, kissing my face. And I'm sitting inside rolling some fucking dice. What the fuck, man? Guess I can't tell the story I'd walk around with outside into a microphone so easily. Get on with it. Have a 2 and a 5. A military leader. Where do I go with that? Spouse. A military leader. Okay. What kind of marriage do I feel this would be? Would this be one to shore up any weaknesses? Would this be out of love? Would this be because maybe this military leader has considerable influence and clout, and after the Mercy killing supported Cleo in exchange for this marriage? I like that. Yeah. Married the Emperor shortly after her ascension. Okay. What's their name? Why don't we go with Richter Elmsmith. Why don't we Admiral Bullshitio? Like some sort of even cooler title. Admiral, I was about to say excommunicado. That would be fucking sense. Admiral of the Imperial, Admiral Logistician. Admiral Logisticio. Admiral Logisticio. Richter Helmsmith. There we go. You're dumb. I love it. Good work, Grimith. In this far-flung future. Shit. Yeah, so, marry the Emperor shortly after her ascension. So she's single. Possibly ready to mingle. Possibly been mingling. Possibly, made arrangements, for, when she would eventually take power, and then this opportunity fell into her lap, as it were. Killed her father, rose to the throne, and then a brief time later, a royal wedding. Probably not too extravagant, given the ongoing war of considerable consequence. Yeah, there we go. She's a diplomat. He was a military leader. She was a diplomat. Can I make it any more obvious? Damn it, Grimith. Okay. Moving along to heirs. Crown our emperor. Roll 2d6. 6 minus 5. 1. Okay. We're continuing our narrow path of succession here. They have one kid. Yeah, I need to name him Richter. Good name, strong name. Give us joy. Whoop, whoop. Why don't we just copy this entire thing, please? That's not how we need to copy that. There we go. Okay, and the child's name will be, do I feel like actually recycling a name for the first time in everything forever? Of course I fucking don't. We will call this child, damn it, I had a name and then it just into the ether. You hate to see it. You hate to see when that happens. No, I'm not stalling for time. Shut up. Fuck you. You don't know me. We'll just go with Baron. Yeah, Baron. Yep, that's how they spell Baron. That's how it's being written. In whatever fucking millennium we're in. Yep, Baron. If he dies, we're gonna have a succession crisis. Boy, that's gonna be awkward as fuck. We're gonna have to give a long scrutiny to the family tree if I don't just end the story right there. Based on what the rulebook itself says. Anyway. Baron. We have events to determine. How long are we gonna be with Miss Cleo? As I'm now 20 minutes deep into this episode. How long we got, Cleo? Okay. I would have accepted it too. Alright, Cleo. We're about to get more than acquainted. Understood. I love how I'm wishing death. I'm limited in how much creativity I got left in the tank right now, man. Come on. I even had a few days. The reservoir needs time. More time. Okay. 5 events. Let's write that down on the sheet. Don't worry, you don't need to. Event 1 of 5. And we're still in Rise, right? That didn't change? Yeah. Okay, cool. Back to the rules. We're still rising. Nice to still be in a rise. We fell for so long. First event. May it not be a repeat. 3 and 5. The Emperor's military advisors suggest placing... Hold on, let me disappear this. The Emperor's military advisors suggest placing the military under the control of an artificial intelligence, increasing its effectiveness. Scientists warn that this could go wrong. No. I'm gonna go ahead and speak for everything involved. No. They don't. Let me copy this in, but rest assured, this is a hard and fast no. Executive decision from Grimith. No. The Emperor's military advisors suggest placing the military under the control of an artificial intelligence, increasing its effectiveness. Scientists warn that this could go wrong. Do I want to just have this be like nameless advisors? Do I want this to be her husband? Do I want this to be Richter? No, I don't want it to be Richter. I think I need Richter to like when the Empress like looks at Richter, Richter just solemnly shakes his head. And then looking at Via Humanitas, who still has political power, and they are emphatically shaking their heads, and then all of the advisors are loaded into a star vessel who suggested this, and they're shot into the sun. Just like Illyra. Yeah. No, it's not the story I feel like telling today. Y'all can go fuck yourselves. As a matter of fact, I'm even going to repeat the prompt. The Emperor's military advisors suggest placing the military under the control of an artificial intelligence, increasing its effectiveness. Or so they claim. But, or so they claimed. Yeah. We need to... I am the official historian, and we need to... But a swift investigation led by the Emperor's spouse revealed that these so-called advisors were in the pocket of big... big tech. had been purchased by big tech lobbyists. looking to secure fresh contracts under the new imperial government. The Emperor did not require the outcry of Via Humanitas to or chip-ins or contributions from established scientists to recognize the folly of this idea. We're not even going to go into like the jazz hands of like, oh, but you know, it could bring an end to the war sooner. Think of the calculations of the country. No. That might be the easiest fucking prompt I've had. If the other 4 prompts are there, I can also shut those down too. Problem fucking solved. Next event. Damn. You'll love to see it. At least it wasn't a repeat. You could fuck off with that shit. I'm good. Thanks. I like to think I'm genre savvy enough to know how fucking wrong that goes. And this is not the right empire for that. 2 and 6. What do we have here? A new planet rich in resources is discovered. The indigenous population do not have access to advanced technology. What approach should be taken? Well, first we'll pause as I initialize the put it in my spreadsheet approach. Okay, a new planet rich in resources discovered. Die covered. The indigenous population do not have access to advanced technology. What approach should be taken? Well, we're in a war. Let's decide, how close is the planet to our sector? Is it perhaps like in the far-flung stretches of Cybrixia space? Like, how does it come about being discovered? Some sort of like spatial like anomaly, like disappear, like unveiling a planet that had previously like been in one of our charted and established territories and simply never been spotted by any sensor at all. How is it that it's discovered? Do we have like some sort of vessel thinking that it's perfectly empty space? Now that's an interesting line of thinking. So, the planet's resources, what are we going to say, is going to be in... I don't know, does that... How absurd is that? I mean, considering the fucking premise of the damn role-playing story. So, like, if this planet had been cloaked, the resources itself could be in, like, the technology that we could use to, like, turn our prototype, like, cloaking devices into, like, really awesome, badass things. Like, it was some kind of, like, null field, you know? Or it could be some sort of, like, shielded, like, thing, where the shield, like, some sort of null shield, not so much cloaking, like, maybe it can't be brought onto, like the miniaturization process we're gonna have to spend a long time discovering. Like, so I guess the resource could be, like, information, the resource could be technology. But I like the idea of, like, this being in our core sector. And no one just ever fucking knew that this existed. maybe just outside. Yeah, I like the idea of it being in the core sector. Like, not in the same system as the home world, but this has had ample opportunity, this planet, to be discovered. This is not in the far-flung reaches of space. This is not beyond our borders. This is right here. And whatever had been hiding this planet broke. Also because the indigenous population destroyed it. Okay. So, the populations of this planet, what kind of era would I like to put them in technology-wise? Pre-atomic? I think so, pre-atomic. So, there is a world war, if you will, a great war that has consumed the globe of this planet rich in resources. And it had previously been hidden by some precursors, some ancients, reasons unknown. And the device, the machinery, the whatever had like kept this planet like hidden from us is destroyed irrevocably, which suddenly reveals this planet's existence to all sensors. It's possible that at some point in time, like, had someone just fucking drove past this shit, it'd have been like, there's an orbital field here. But given the immense vastness of space, it just never fucking happened. Or at least nothing that was ever reported. Like, you know, some, like, captain, like, flies past and a scout, like, whatever. But if, like, a science vessel had come by here, that's pretty fucking odd. Maybe this should be reported in the proper channels. Maybe that information had been lost. You know, maybe the last time that came about was during, like, the reign of the Lundgrens. Okay. What's the planet rich in? What resource? Because it's not the population. Are they subterranean? Are they aquatic? Are they carbon-based? We'll say they're humans. Yeah. I mean, they could still be aquatic or subterranean. We'll say they're humans. That'll be like an offshoot of humanity that has been here for thousands of years. And during that time, they have, like, rebuilt, like, from whatever technological state they were in, perhaps falling from, like, perhaps like a colony ship had landed here, and then the folks made do with what they could, but then they ran out of materials and had to rebuild from scratch. A bunch of things got lost along the way, so they had to, like, go through, like, human history again? Put a lot of thought into this event prompt. Okay, so we're going to call the planet until quite recently, Absalom had only been thought to have 5 planets. That was until recent events suddenly unveiled Absalom 6 at an ice planet on the fringes of that solar system. A science expeditions, or I'll just say expeditions, quickly, and observations quickly revealed. I like using revealed here because I didn't use that in the last sentence. That was judicious usage of words on my part. The planet, an offshoot of humanity, lived on this world. They're some tech level in the pre-atomic age. That's what I'm choosing to call it. And their civilizations locked in global conflict. How the planet had been hidden for so long is still unknown as of this writing. But the Emperor authorized the colonization and exploitation of Absalom 6. To recover, to unearth, to discern what marvel had kept this planet hidden, discern the world's secrets. Its secrets. That's not very diplomatic. There's nothing that says kindness or merciful. Like, that's a separate sobriquet. What fate befalls? The indigenous... The indigenous population... I treat this like an XCOM situation. Is the governments, the feeble governments of this long-lost world are incapable of uniting together to stop Cybrixia, particularly when I would just want to say diplomats. Diplomats broker varying deals promising power and influence to these indigenous peoples in exchange for their support, submission. I might gussy that up later. Might even that a bit, might move out some wrinkles or what have you. Might rewrite that. It's the train whistle I hear outside that is slowly approaching and threatening to disrupt my beautiful... This is a residential zone. Oh, shit. All right. Yeah, I really did spend a while at that event. 3 more to go. I remember how to interface with my operating system. Event 3. 2 and 5. Huh. A small group of worlds request to join us in an alliance under the Emperor's rule. Some would be powerful allies, others are weaker and would require our assistance. What standards do we expect our allies to meet? Standards do we expect? What is this group? Human? They like a mix? You know, they might just be like a... What kind of worlds are they? Ab world? Gas giants? It's a small group. How small do we want to consider this? We consider this like... Are they all in the same system? Are they in different systems? Where are they in relation to the Orion Collective? If we say, like, okay, computer light emote is Cybrixia. With the home world, like, somewhere, the core sector being somewhere there in the beautiful middle. And we say the Persephone star cluster is to the north. North by northwest. Again, we're in three-dimensional space. Work with me here. And the Orion Collective is over here to the east. Maybe like the mercenary group that we had issues with, that Vargas the Trader broke off from, is like to the southeast. And we haven't had any action coming in from like this angle. That could be our opportunity to do that. Like, we know star systems, and there could very well be other empires out there that could be close. We just haven't defined that. Or maybe there just isn't, like... There are few stars in this area, particularly with habitable planets. Yeah. Small group of worlds request to join us in alliance under the Emperor rule. So... we would have left them alone before until this point. Maybe they're colonists from the homeworld who went out with the talent drain when the Golden Age collapsed and settled these planets, which are different from like the planets that were in the Persephone star cluster. We talked about that before, and they went back in. Like, maybe it's they don't have navigators, they don't have a way to make their star vessels reliable. They're having like a real like shortage, and they see things are getting better in the empire they had left. Maybe until this point, their navigation computers had remained fine, and now it hasn't been. I like that concept. I like this being like some smattering of houses that just left the core sector. When Clovis the Conqueror like took control, and there was a golden age and it collapsed. And then this like group having roughed it out for hundreds of years, and we've just not fucking bothered. Will the Tyrant, he was focused on other things. He probably had fucking forgot about him. And then we got sucked into a war. Because Will was the first emperor we had who got to spend his entire reign not in a fall. And maybe that was like his next goal, like with his mercenary fleet that he built, but he had to come back to the core sector to rule, and the mercenary fleet's under the control of like some other Ravenor who's protecting shit up there in the Persephone star cluster. Okay. I'm glad I could use this visual aiding thing, at least for myself, if not for any of you. I'm going to pause to put this down on the spreadsheet now. Okay, a small group of worlds request to join us in an alliance under the Emperor's rule. Some would be powerful allies, others are weaker and would require our assistance. What standards do we expect our allies to meet? So, small group of worlds, so they're different foreign powers, they're different factions. I like the idea of them being like independently ruled worlds. You can see a reality where like like each of the houses that outright left the like Cybrixia as the fall began, like ended up with control over their own world, and it could very well be in the same star system or like adjacent star systems. And we'll say there's a total of 5 worlds. I love how I rolled 1d6. It's like, gotta make a group out of something. I just rolled. Fine. 5 isn't good enough now. 5. 5 worlds. Each ruled by a different house for like between 2 star systems. And we didn't like go to reclaim them just due to how we'd been suffering in the fall. And then when the fall ended, Bran died, and Will didn't think of them. Student of ancient history though he was, the tyrant that he also was, he fucking forgot. He had remembered that they existed. If this had ever come up during like a strategic meet, he would have personally gone himself to annihilate. And Kent was broken, man. But here we go. Cleo. Kent has also been in a war with the Orion Collective. He was for his entire reign. Now we have Cleo, who's still also in this war. How much time do you think has passed since like she ascended to the throne? How well do you think the war is going? How well is the war? The rise. That doesn't apparently mean that maybe this ends up being the like this right here. This is the moment. This was the day everything turned. Because the kinks are still being worked out in the prototypes. The navigation computers are being integrated. So that's more in like non-military vessels, so that the navigators can be at the warfront. And you know, as more of them die, then the navigator caste becomes weaker. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Totally not by design. No. Small group of worlds request to join our alliance under. Because how would they be powerful allies? Be through. I think I like the. Yeah, okay. So, what will we call this group of worlds? The Coalition of Alcibria? Alcib? Alcib. The Alcib Coalition? Coalition. Made contact, a group of 5 worlds at beyond the western edge of Cybrixia's space, made contact, reached out to an empire they had abandoned. When Cybrixia first began its fall, and an imperial government which had long since forgotten them. In the intervening centuries, these minor houses had come to each control a separate world. And while trade had once flourished amongst them all, their unreliable navigation computers made separate existence made stellar travel it finally made stellar travel unsustainable for them. The Emperor, in her infinite wisdom, invited the leaders of each world to her aboard her Imperial Dreadnought. Battle cruiser? Sound of it's operational, you know. To discuss a potential alliance and how the Alsib coalition would best serve their abandoned home. However, given the power disparity between the alliance existed only in name, a polite word veneer over benevolent vassalage and future annexation. In return, the Emperor received war fleets long thought lost centuries ago. Dated vessels that could be refurbished to solidify victory over the Orion Collective. Okay. All right. I like how that went. Alsib. So these 5 worlds, like, the houses, the minor houses, just basically fucked off. See you bye. We're not in this shit anymore. And then they went in with, like, their own, like, disputes of trying to control each other and trying to negotiate trade and making their own deals, what have you, and, like, planets beyond. But the unreliable navigation computers, which, of course, the home world and, like, the core sectors of Cybrixia had all suffered from, like, the Alsib Coalition, they had the same tech and the same vessels and the same people. They suffer from that too. But they weren't able to resolve the situation as effectively. They didn't have the same, like, talent pool to draw from to create navigators who could survive the transformation process from people into navigators. And, like, became like a real issue to threaten their independence. And also, you know, hey, why not? Like, it looks like everything is going fine and great back there in the place that our grandfathers and great-grandfathers left. So, you know, maybe it seems like they've forgotten all about us. So, you know, they just put the history books down and we can just move on all happily together. And the Emperor is like, sure, that sounds like, yeah. Harmony. And written into the language Oh yeah, it's harmony. Okay. I feel like I did some massaging of that prompt. I'm good with that. I like what I wrote there. Fuck everything else. That's what matters to me. Event 4. You know, there was a lofty dream. This could have taken under an hour. That dream died the moment I rolled 5. 2 and 1. A group of foreign powers suggest a treaty whereby each would be bound to protect the others from invasion. This could guarantee peace or drag us into. Okay. Now I gotta come up with another fucking group. Guess I could say it can be to our south? Again, like 3-dimensional space, right? We can go in all sorts of fucking directions. Remember, there's only so many directions you have in 3. All sorts of different directions. But, we were to project 3D space onto a 2D plane, as happens in so many video games, I should say, then we'd say they are to the south-ish. They are a group of foreign powers. They can be a federation. Yeah, a federation. I don't know how the exact borders here look. I don't know how many members of the federation there are. I'd say there's some human and some non-human. Yeah, let me go ahead and plug this in. I might leave this one vague. A group of foreign powers suggest a treaty whereby each would be bound to protect the others from invasion. This could guarantee peace or drag us into war. We'll say... years has it been since Cleo? Send it to the... I'm just going to use a determination for Heirs. Roll a 1d100. And why, yes, I do actually have a 1d100. That's how it sounds. Now, me reading this number is going to be a pain in the ass. You reading this number is 50 on the nose. Okay. And wasn't that nice? The die didn't just, go crazy. It basically just thunked and came to a stop. 50. That one's 19. Nope, it's 50. So 50 years have passed, and I'd say that the Orion Collective is down to its core sector. That all of their worlds and systems that have bordered the Cybrixia have been taken over. And I think the worlds to the north have also been taken over as well. There have been a little bit of shippings away into the center. I would say there's not. South is the center. Center is. So yeah, the Orion Collective is down to its core sector. That's it. That's all I got. And it 50 years, over the course of 50 years, from the profulgation, the stabilization of the cloaking field, the acquisition of long-thought lost vessels from the Al-Sib coalition, and secrets and resources recovered from Absalom 6, and a staunch refusal to give control over military vessels to artificial intelligence. Maybe the Orion Collective did do that. It hasn't gone great. Sabotage and whatever. It is, I mean, it's not been a swift process. 50 years is some unit of time. In year 51 of the Emperor's reign, Cybrixia's with the Orion Collective successes against the Orion Collective caught the watchful gaze of the Empire's southern neighbor, the Praxis Federation. Empire's new neighbor, the Praxis Federation. I like the concept of the Federation not being a neighbor until the Cybrixia had conquered these worlds and systems from the Orion Collective, and, well, howdy, neighbor. And sure, like, this isn't like first contact, like they've met and discussed before, but it's been like indirectly, and there's been no sure, like, official diplomatic channels have technically existed, but there's been no need on either side to pursue like a formal relationship beyond, like, we don't fight? Want to trade? Cool. And now, like, the Praxis Federation, like, emissaries from the, we'll just call them Praxis emissaries. Praxis emissaries convey the appreciation, the acknowledgement from their rulers, and acknowledgement from their members, and appreciation of the military successes the Emperor has had against the Orion, now down to its core sector. After a half year of intense negotiation, the Emperor and these emissaries Cybrixia and the Praxis Federation are now united in a defensive alliance. Should any third party assail either, they would have to face both. The people of the home world are excited to learn that galactic powers are taking notice of their successes and acting accordingly. Yeah! Way to go! We did it! Awesome. I mean, we live a long while. There's been plenty of minor events. We could also not live a long while, and the events could just happen within a very short time span, but it's been established we have the technology to rejuvenate cellular structures. What is the fifth event? The twilight, the ending years of Cleo's reign. What do we got? Got a lot of diplomatic flavored stuff. That's been good. That's been good. Ah, Richter's been kicking plenty of ass out there, I'm sure. 5 and 5. A pirate fleet attacks an outlying planet. A military response may be necessary. Just how important is this distant world? The outlying planet mean like one of the planets we just captured from the Orion Collective? That would seem foolhardy since our military focus is over there. Could be something from the attacking a world in the Persephone star cluster. The Aegis likely hasn't been around there effectively, as it too has been deployed to the forefront, the OC. That makes sense. A world in the Persephone star cluster. How important? Military response may be necessary, but it also might not be. How much does world matter? Okay. Before I even plug this prompt in. Odds. This world doesn't matter. Evens. This world matters. This world doesn't matter. Is a military response necessary? And I mean this in the sense of like, the pirates just pump it, grab shit, and go? Or are they there to stay? Odds? Not necessary. Evens? Necessary. Not necessary. That's Snake Eyes there. Okay. So this world doesn't fucking matter, and the pirates won't linger there. So this is like an opportunity. They went looking for resources, looking perhaps to extort the planetary governor, the executor of the world, while the Aegis was gone. And then, like, they looted the planet. They looted the trade port that was incapable of withstanding the pirate fleet. And like, all right, good. You've paid us protection money. And then they get word that the Aegis, like an arm of the Aegis is coming back, and they whoop, 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 whoop. Even if the Aegis isn't actually coming back, they end up getting word of that anyway. And just whoop, 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 whoop. They're gone. Okay, I'm gonna go plug this in now. A pirate fleet attacks an outlying planet. A military response may be necessary. Just how important is this? With the full invasion of Cybrixia's full invasion of the Orion Collective's core sector underway, an opportunist pirate warlord known as R the Scourge seizes upon an opportunity to raid the... What name would I like to call? Solar system in the Persephone star cluster. I mean, Cerebus. Solar system within the Persephone star cluster. Planets are sacked. See. Planetary governments are extorted. Trade ports, trade stations are raided. Planetary governments are... Shipping is... Military vessels are boarded, and planetary governments are extorted. Like, this isn't even an outlying planet. I'm making this, like, worse. Raid Cerebus. 2. Within the Persephone star cluster. The local star base is looted. All military defense installations destroyed. And the planetary governor and the planetary governor, executor, is exploited, extorted. Carr does not linger long over his conquest, and his fleet departs into Praxis Federation space, into the nebula between Brixia, into the nebula. The nebula is at the edge of Praxis, Federation space for the Aegis and return. Okay. Cybrixia's full invasion of the Orion Collective's core sector underway. An opportunistic pirate warlord known as Carr the Scourge seizes upon an opportunity to raid Cerebus 2 within the Persephone star cluster. Local star base is looted. All defense installations destroyed. The defenses are destroyed. The trade ports are looted. The defenses are destroyed. And the mercantile houses are extorted. Right train. Extortion. Tragic. Carr does not linger long. Why don't we call him the Scourge? The Scourge. S-train. Again, residential zone train. Does not linger long over his conquest. I can turn that into a semicolon. His fleet departs into Praxis Federation space for the Aegis. Okay. I like that. All right. So, Cleo has very much been a diplomat and has very much enjoyed the support and knowledge and skill of her spouse. We have avoided a horrendous mistake, falling into the pockets of big tech. We uncovered a new planet rich in resources and engaged into a fruitful partnership with the Alcib Coalition, a small group of worlds, and even entered into a defensive alliance with the Praxis Federation. Various challenges have been weathered. Our fleet Kara the Scourge is out there. We have some story hooks that are also lingering that could come up with a prompt to tug the story in some direction. Given the prompt and the situation, if we end up in a golden age, if we end in a fall, who's to say? Via Humanitas is there, but they've been dwindling in power. Just their ideas, thought processes aren't very popular. They are running out of political support. More navigators are dying, and fewer navigators are being created. The popular religion, a polytheistic, like ancient, like thought, like line of thinking, is also probably suffered too, as new worlds are being incorporated and integrated into Cybrixia. Still, like, probably suffering less under Cleo than they did under Kent, but there's still a very potent, smorgasbord of marine Raxes that are there to overwatch the population. So we've potentially buried some old problems. We've uncovered some new problems. The story could spiral in so many different ways from here, I reckon. But let's see how Cleo ends up leaving us here after 5 events. How does Emperor Cleo go? Roll to the death section. Death of an emperor is a time of great upheaval. Remember, she only has the one heir. We didn't get a prompt that it would make sense story-wise to change that one way or the other. How does Cleo go? 1 in 6, a shuttlecraft crash. Oh no! Died in a shuttlecraft crash. Died in a shuttlecraft crash. Was it an accident? Was it intentional? Who are the parties responsible for the crash? Did a navigation computer malfunction? Was there a navigator aboard the shuttlecraft? Where was the shuttlecraft? Was it going between her personal battlecruiser and the homeworld? Or was she, like, in orbit of a separate world? Or was she, like, taking the shuttlecraft between 2 ships? Or is the shuttlecraft crashed just like I'm playing Star Zoo? Ugh. Oh no. Snow Cup will never retrieve you. I'm gonna leave the writing on this blank for now. Maybe I'll come up with something substantive, something I enjoy being sessions. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Don't have to figure that out, right? Stories are evolving things. We have the one kid, Baron. I believe his name is Baron. It is now if it isn't. What is he known as until the end of time? When people think back on Baron, what will they say about Baron, the son of Cleo, the diplomat? 3 and 6, the reckless. The reckless. Gives us a sense of how he's going to be responding to the events and circumstances surrounding Cybrixia and perhaps the death of his mother moving forward. Okay. Good. We didn't have another repeat on that. Good. That's good. The reckless. Immediately have visuals in mind of how Baron is going to hit the ground running. Anyway, that takes care of this video for Reign of the Star Kings. I'm done. My creativity has been spent once more. Take care.